Good morning, traders. It is Monday, April 29th, and this is a very special early morning edition of the morning market analysis. I'm Jonathan van Clute with Stock Navigators, and we are doing this super early this morning because we are, as of today, in day 3 of another one of our live 4-day training programs for traders. So I got to head over to the office early this morning and get ready for the big day, first day of live trading for everybody. So it's going to be a ton of fun. And in the meantime, let's take a quick peek at what's happening in the markets, which is a very, very, very interesting time right this moment. Here we are. Here's the prior all-time high. Here's the prior failure to make a new high, and then of course it broke the low, and then goodbye. And we are right back up there again. So what are we going to do from here? This is the big question that is on everybody's mind, and there's just endless discussion about the possibilities. There are the perma bears who are saying, the sky is falling and the world is going to end and we're going to go to zero. And then, of course, there's the perma bulls who are also saying that this time is different and it's everything is firing on all cylinders and it can be nothing but up and we're going to go up forever and it's going to be whatever Dow 6 million and all that kind of crazy talk. But we care about the charts. So what are the charts telling us? Well, right now, yes, we're back up there. We're back up at historic high levels, but we're doing it on a weakening oscillator. So from back here, oscillator was way up here, and then it got weaker and weaker, and then has basically stayed at right about that level. So even though price has pushed way higher, oscillator is not pushing with it. So that shows me only a moderate level of enthusiasm for this move. So will it hold? I don't know. A pullback at this level would be very much in order. It's what I would expect to see. It's what I'm actually looking forward to because this is the first time, since this is the first time we've been really significantly back in this area. And the first time back into a zone like this, usually that zone will fail. We saw that happen back here on the triple top. For it formed here. Then the first time back there failed. Even the second time back failed. Third time back failed. Finally, the fourth time came up, tested as support, and held. So I would not be at all surprised to see a significant pullback happen at this level. That being said, the market can do whatever it wants, and it doesn't have to do what makes sense necessarily. So we just have to go with the charts, go with the probabilities, and let them play out. Also on the shorter term time frame here on the 60-minute, we see where when price hit this top here, we see what happened with the oscillator, and then price pulled back. And we had a dip below the zero line here, but now we've shot right back above it, pushed up even higher. But look at the divergence. Look how much lower the oscillator is there, even while price has gone higher. So on a 60-minute basis, this move, I'm having a hard time really seeing it. It doesn't look like it's that enthusiastic. Right now, the MACD line has already crossed below its signal line. So things are looking like perhaps the bears are trying to take control. Right now, we are right at that 21 EMA. And right this instant, it is holding. In fact, if I zoom in on that a little bit, so you can see it better. You can see we are right at it and have bounced off of it and are holding there. So what's going to happen this morning when the market opens? Do we break below that, maybe come down, test it as resistance, and then head south? Or do we bounce off of here, head higher, and finally test and challenge those all-time highs? I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see, but this is a very, very critical moment in the markets for the S&P 500 and really all the markets because everybody looks to the S&P. It is definitely the leader, the 800-pound gorilla, whatever you want to call it. It is the big dog, and everything tends to kind of follow it. Everybody watches it, so it is very important to see what it's going to do from here. All right, let's take a peek at crude oil. And crude has pulled back, as I've been talking about a number of times, has pulled back to the 21 EMA. And every time it's done that, it's been a great buying opportunity in this trend, this pullback, or this move up, rather. So now on this pullback, it's looking like we have another potential entry. We have pulled back to the line. Buyers then shut it right back up to the line. Today's candle right now is a doji. Now that could change. Obviously, the day is really just getting started for the U.S. market anyway. But right now, anyway, that is the reason why we're in a doji is because we have just gone sideways. We've come down and gone sideways. So, is this a buying opportunity? Well, it is possible that it is. We did have a weakening oscillator here as price went higher, and now we've gotten a pullback. So, that is kind of what I was looking for, what I was expecting. On a shorter term time frame, the oscillator did cross the zero line to the downside and has pushed down, had some momentum to the downside. If we zoom out further, we can take a look at all the recent momentum and compare. So this momentum low down here is like -2 or thereabouts. And we can see if I scroll back in time here, my 60 only goes back to late January. It has never been lower. So this is a reasonable point from recent history anyway for the oscillator to be done. And then we go up from there. So that would fit with this being the pullback and this being the opportunity to enter this trend for more movement to the long side. So that sounds feasible to me. I do want to be cautious about one thing though, this oscillator getting weaker because it could do it again. If we see a third peak and we get one more push up again on a weakening oscillator, then I would be very concerned and I would be expecting a more significant pullback somewhere. Um, the time being, anyway, we are bouncing up towards this 21 EMA, but the trend is down. It's gently down. It's not a very steep trend. It's not like back here where the trend was very sharp. It's a very shallow move down. It's just been gently drifting down to this buy zone down below from previous. So are we going to get that buy zone? Are we going to get to the 21 EMA, hold, come down, finally get into that zone and head higher? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Right now, the oscillator has been getting stronger from here to there. But the zone is gonna win. Typically, price is going to want to get to that zone. So the question is going to be, what happens when it gets there, or are we done? We won't really be able to tell until we start breaking the lower highs. Right now, we've been in lower lows and lower highs and lower lows. We've got to take out that lower high. That would signal definitively that the trend is wanting to head up now. And we'll see if we see that on an oscillator that crosses the zero line as well. That would be definitely a bullish sign. Right now on the 60, it's looking kind of good. We came down, still making lower lows and lower highs, and now we have actually broken the prior lower high. And we've come up to here and right now pulled back and we're holding in that same level, going sideways. Oscillator also has increased in strength as price increased. So that's looking good. Bull strength is trying to build in this market and it's looking good. So if the oscillator comes down, especially if it forms a higher low, then we will have higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, etc. And we can continue that trend. So those same patterns of higher highs, higher lows, or lower lows and lower highs also will happen in the oscillator. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking to see that happen, in which case the trend will have turned. But we won't really have confirmation of that till we take out that lower high. That's the level we have to watch for definite confirmation. But if you want to be a little bit early, you could watch for maybe a break of the 21 EMA, a pullback to it, hold, and then start heading higher. That could be your signal. Now you know, okay, long entry, and then realistically, your stop probably should go out either outside, which can't really see it, either outside that low somewhere down there, or even more safe if you've got the risk tolerance to handle it and the position size and everything to handle it, is put your stop down somewhere outside the zone. That is the absolute most textbook appropriate place to be putting your stop. But obviously, your risk reward parameters have to support that. So you might need to go something a little bit tighter, and you can just use the recent low instead. Or you could even, if its price breaking above the 21 EMA, holding and then bouncing higher, you could even just use just outside the 21 EMA. That's acceptable as well. And if you need to do that for your own account management, money management purposes, that's just fine. All right, now Bitcoins, take a peek at crypto, and it's still impressively hanging on to those gains. It has pulled back to the 21 EMA and then has just gone absolutely dead sideways. It's just going nowhere. We're just trapped in this little range, and this is very, very typical of Bitcoin. It does these big moves and goes sideways, and really sideways. It doesn't even really do any kind of bouncing around with any kind of trending moves or triangle patterns or anything. It just goes up and sideways, and it's been that way for a while. So we're just going to have to wait and see. I am looking for that pullback because price went higher on a weakening oscillator, and right now the oscillator is still getting weaker and weaker, and it's trying to head towards that zero line. So personally, I'm looking for a pullback. I would like to see a pullback. Ideally, I'd like that pullback to stay somewhere above this 4,500 level, which is a real key psychological level, those big round numbers. But frankly, right now we're staying above 5,000, which in itself is very significant. That's a huge psychological level. 5,000 is a big number that everybody talked about. As soon as Bitcoin got back over 5,000 again, it was all the rage and everybody was raving about it. So if we lose 5,000, break below that, there will be people who say, oh, the move failed. It's not going higher after all. But I don't really see it that way. As long as we can hold above this 44.15 level, this previous lower high, I'm feeling all right. I'm feeling like Bitcoin has got some room to go and it is beginning a new uptrend. So we just need to see what's going to happen from here. But a healthy uptrend is higher highs and higher lows. So ideally, that's really what I'd like to see, is that higher low, and then break the previous higher high and continue higher. So we'll have to wait and see what we get. So far on the 60, you can see the trend line that acted as a good buy entry each time it got to it. It pulled away from the trend line further and further and further, and then it just couldn't hold anymore, broke below. And right now we are holding below that trend line. So at this moment anyway, the bears are kind of taking control, and you can see that again on the weakening oscillator anyway. Um, but it could go either way, really could. So we got to just watch the price action and really see if we begin to form higher highs and higher lows and get at least two of them in a row, two higher highs, two higher lows. Then we will have absolute confirmation that we are back in a bull market in Bitcoin. Okay, well that about wraps it up for me this morning and this morning's analysis. The S&P 500 again just right at that 21 EMA, just kissing it right now. Oscillator is weakening. MACD line did cross below the signal line, so I'm thinking that we could see a bit of a down open this morning, get some nervous shorts that start taking up here, profit taking, that sort of thing. We'll have to wait and see what the market wants to give us today, but it will be interesting, I am sure. I'm going to be doing some live trading with everybody today. So it's looking like today might give us some opportunities, which would be a great thing to see. So we'll just have to see what happens at the opening bell in just under 2.5 hours. So it's just past 4 a.m. now. It is ungodly early, but I'm going to be getting out of the house soon and heading down to the offices. So for those who are going to be there today, I will see you there. It's going to be a blast. For everybody else, I will be back doing this again on Wednesday. And a quick reminder again to please give us a thumbs up on the video if you would, please. We would really appreciate that. And leave me feedback, comments in the questions or the comments area rather below. And let me know tickers you want analyzed or techniques you'd like explained better, or anything I can do. Whatever I can do to help your trading, I will do my best. All right, that's it for me, Jonathan van Clute from Stock Navigators, saying trade well. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Whoops, I'm still in pen mode. All right, here we go. Bye.